Well, I'm talking about Johnny.
Johnny.
Yeah.
He was my 6th grade math teacher.
Johnny's a math teacher with his master's. He's got double masters.
Between, teaching, fire department, ocean rescue, and the life-saving station.
And husband and community member, loving dad.
Johnny and Mae, what does this film mean to both of you? Because I can definitely see the passion that went into creating it.
I actually am celebrating my 40th year of lifeguarding this year.
Congratulations.
40 years working for the town of East Hampton. In those 40 years, I've seen it quite a bit and in the news and all that. So my big concern is our mission at Hampton Lifeguard Association is to drown-proof this community. Unfortunately, with what being surrounded by water in this area, that's a difficult challenge. But we've been pretty successful over the years, and a movie like this certainly helps promote ways in which that a community that is surrounded by water can do the same, which is to waterproof. I call it drown-proof. My father calls it waterproof. And so we went with waterproof a community.
It was a passion project for me. My son did the program when he was 13 as a junior lifeguard. And I met Big John and Johnny. I felt that their commitment to our community, to the kids, to the men and women who trained to become ocean lifeguards at the age of 15, 16, and then continue on through ocean rescue. The story has a heart to it. And the more communities that can see it and use this as a guideline so that people understand what a riptide is and what can happen very quickly.
It's definitely not all about, lounging in the sun as some people perceive beach lifeguards to do. You guys have a lot of intense work that you do, and it's all about looking out for this entire community. So what is one thing you feel that people may not know about beachfront lifeguards specifically?
Generally, when you look at drownings, you think, well, these people didn't know how to swim, but that's totally misunderstood. Drowning occurs when somebody gets into a position where they don't know those waters. It's the currents that people get themselves into that they don't have control over. When we work with the kids in our junior program, we teach them to read the ocean, to read it and understand that they're going to be put in a position where the winds may be affecting their swimming ability, the currents, whether it be the sweep, the rip current, or the undertow may affect their swimming. When they get into those situations, they have to control their belief in understanding that they are still a good swimmer. And that comfort, that being comfortable with that, will prevent them from panicking and hopefully get them out of a situation that could possibly result in them drowning.
How would you actually describe the community that does exist within the Hamptons that people don't really know about?
Well, they're locals. They're locals who some of 4 generations who've lived here, from farmers to school teachers to shop owners. And so when you're a weekender or you're coming from Manhattan, you really don't engage with the people that live here year round. And so we're a small community in East Hampton, and everybody seems to know each other. And like we captured in the film, if you're in trouble, someone's there for you.
So Johnny, your entire family seems to be very highly respected and involved. So what was it like growing up in that environment? And well, since you guys are kind of a generational lifeguard family.
It all revolved around water. My earliest memories of going to the beach and getting in the van, my dad's van, us all driving down to the beach because he was lifeguarding at Atlantic Avenue right down the road from here, and looking at what kind of conditions we were going to have. Was it going to be a yellow flag day, or hoping we'd see some kind of wave for the day? Sitting around the stand, it's a family. You not just our own family, but you have a family amongst the lifeguards and their families. The connection you build, and then we all growing up together, we all become lifeguards. Not just like my brothers and sisters, but other friends and children of other lifeguards. We look forward to every given summer to going to the beach. That's my best memories of growing up.
Your film touches on, some of the more sad and unfortunate events that do happen that comes with being a lifeguard. So I'm sure that does take a toll mentally. So how do you personally deal with events like that?
We just had 2 drownings this year, which were very difficult. It's very difficult when you there's friends and there's family right there that are just praying that we find their individual and we can save that individual, which generally is not going to happen in a drowning. It's a recovery. From that point on, work to try to bring closure. So yeah, it's a tough situation. It's part of the job. We can't escape it. You gotta try to live with it and absorb it and talk and communicate with each other and it's tough.
What are some of the best moments of enforcing and monitoring water safety for you?
Again, it's the rescues. I just had an amazing rescue happen at the Bay. First year lifeguards that came right up through our junior program. At the Bay, nothing's going to happen. Well, 10:35, they just got on the beach. Something does happen. 3 Russian women jump in the water and they get caught in the current, incoming tide in a channel. They handled it textbook. And these are first year guards. You wouldn't expect that. They called in for backup. They put 2 guards in the water with rescue equipment, 1 a paddleboard, and then a rescue can for flotation. They got to them. Environmental conservation police were just by chance coming into the channel. So all these swimmers in the channel, which they're never supposed to be, and realized that the lifeguards are on them and they got them and control them. And they made a great rescue. And so, yeah, it's the good things about with respect to lifeguards, the great rescues that you make, being on top of it, just being decent to people, recognizing when somebody's carrying too many bags down the beach. Hey, can I help you with that? It's working with the community, being able to communicate and talk and make people feel welcome.
So overall, what is the main message or mission of your organization, and what do you want the audience to understand about you both?
My overall mission would be to encourage all these waterfront communities to start somewhere. Back in 1992, I wrote a paper for college, and it was about water safety in the community because it didn't exist out here. It was very disappointing, very frustrating to see a lot of the rescues we were making with local kids. And so we started in that direction, and I totally encourage the building of community programs that involve children, and then from there it will build upward. They will eventually become older. They will then be making rescues. A lot of the rescues that happen out here we don't even hear about because they happen on off hours at beaches that are not protected. It's individuals that have gone through our program that recognize somebody's in trouble. I can help them out of this without actually putting hands on, telling, hey, you're in a rip. Let me say it. Come swim towards me. And saving a life in that way, or recognizing that we got a rip current there, let's not go in that. So it's education. Educate your community through programs.
This film is to educate waterfront communities to understand that it's inviting to go in the ocean, but you got to know what the ocean can do. If when in doubt, don't go, which Big John says all the time. And to educate from, even if the children are involved, then you bring in the parents, because a lot of parents will say, here's my kid, take care of them in the program, and then they get in trouble. As Johnny said, it's about education, and I think what we delivered with the short doc was more towards the direction of this can happen, but if you educate the people of your community, then you're one step ahead, and it does go step by step. It doesn't happen overnight. As Johnny said, he's going into his 40th year. There's the Hampton Lifeguard Association. There's Ocean Rescue now, and we are 54 strong. And they're on call 24/7, and we're volunteers. So it's really the community steps up and says, okay, I want to get involved.
What was it like working with Ross Kauffman, since he is an Academy Award winner and he's got a lot of experience in documentary making?
It was interesting because Ross came we had a lot of footage. We had 400 hours of footage. When Ross came in and he stepped it up, he did some amazing interviews, and he was wonderful to work with. He doesn't like water though. He's not a water guy.
Oh, we can change that though.
But we're trying to change it. And his son Harry actually spent a day doing the Nipper program with Johnny's daughter and the other kids. So slowly, but Ross was a true professional to work with, and he really aced it.
First day I met him, you could see he had a passion for making this happen. He wanted to know what it was about, had a chance to talk to Mae and all that. And we got a chance to just sit back and talk recently. And it's just great to see him. It's great when he comes out here. We hope that he continues to come out here and brings his son out here, and maybe we'll get him in the water, and maybe we'll get Harry in the water and continue on with his junior lifeguard
Perfect.
What is the biggest lesson outside of lifeguard training that you and possibly your family members have learned from your dad?
My dad is,
Larger than life.
yeah, he absolutely is larger than life. My dad and I argue a lot, and I told one of my lifeguards this when I was reprimanding them. Had to have a meeting with one of my lifeguards. I said, me and my dad and I, we argue a lot. I don't always agree with what he has to say. I always listen to what my dad has to say, and a lot of the times he's right. The biggest lesson he's given me is to be, welcoming to people and to communicate, to talk. Just, because you can't do it. And I have that problem. I try to do a lot, and I do a lot on my own. It's given me the opportunity to delegate a lot of the responsibility. And the reason this organization is built up from nippers to in-school programs to juniors to ocean rescue and swim team, the reason it's done is because we delegate. We bring in people that have that passion that we have. And with that, it just grows. It's not myself, my father's doing. It's a community of lifeguards doing. Mae, Ross, everybody that's put in the time and effort to this has built this water safe community.